Ow! What the? Sewing kit. Huh? Sewing kit. Oh! Howdy bitch, I'm Shade, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, consider subscribing and joining the hunt. A tradition in my family is that when a person starts sewing, they receive their own sewing kit to decorate. So, when I began learning how to sew this year, my mom gave me an empty, cleaned out cookie tin to turn into my own sewing kit. Since I love the spooky and fall season, I immediately had the idea to decorate it as a pumpkin patch with a matching pumpkin pincushion. I took some pictures of the cookie tin and got to sketching over them. The tin will be spray painted green with a tufted green cushion and pumpkin beads on top. Starting with the sewing of this project, I measured the radius and diameter of the inner circle of the lid. Finding a good-sized box that I could recycle the cardboard from, I cut out a circle of cardboard to make gluing the cushion easier. This took me 2 tries since my first circle was too small. Using the cardboard, I traced it onto the fabric, added seam allowance, and cut it out. As you can see, I added pins to make the cutting and sewing easier. Now let me grab my needle and thread. Hey, wait, where'd they go? That's weird. I just saw. Oh! Well, hello, little one. Did you sew up the fabric for me? Well, thank you. Do you have a name? Oh, you don't remember your name. That's all right. It's common for spirits to forget their names after death. Since you're a pretty pink color, how about I call you Garnet? I'm glad you like it. Since you're here, would you mind helping me with the rest of this project? All right. Since Garnet sewed the cushion, all I had to do was iron it, turn it inside out, and iron it again. Then came the fun part, stuffing. I used cotton balls as a filler since I had a surplus of them. After filling the cushion, I closed the opening and began tufting it with the little pumpkin beads I bought from Amazon. However, I did not film any of this since the tufting was stressful as all get out and took me over 2 hours to finish. While I was doing that, Garnet worked on the pumpkin pincushion. And here it is. It's absolutely darling. I adore this thing to bits. Next came my favorite part, spray painting. After retrieving the tin from its first wash, I peeled off the remaining gunk and wiped down the lid and base. Going outside and wearing a mask, I first sanded the lid and base of the cookie tin, then sent it back into the dishwasher for a second washing. Then, it was paint time! I applied 2 coats of paint to the lid and 1 on each side of the cardboard circle, waiting 20 minutes in between layers. I then added a finish and allowed the tin to dry completely. While it was drying, I pulled out the hot glue gun and glued the tufted cushion to this cardboard circle. After everything was dry, I glued the cushion to the lid. And that's the sewing kit all done. It's absolutely perfect, and even though the tufting was a pain in the ass, I still love the little pumpkin patch on top. But wait, you may say, there's still 4 minutes of this video left. Well, my dear Spookable, that's because I have another one. The first one was too small to hold all my fabric and fabric scissors, so I grabbed a larger tin to act as my fabric holder. With this one, I thought it would be cute to make a jack-o'-lantern to go with the pumpkin patch. I found this cute ghost stencil for carving pumpkins and thought it would fit perfectly. Like the first tin, I cleaned off all the junk I could, wiped it down with the alcohol pads before sanding it outside. After retrieving it from the dishwasher, I painted the whole thing a nice orange first, then, using the stencil, added the ghost jack-o'-lantern design atop the lid. However, the yellow paint soaked into the paper, so when I peeled it off, it took some of the orange paint with it and some of the paper stuck to the lid. So, after wetting it, I sanded the damaged paint off and tried again. I covered up the old paint with a new coat of orange, let it dry overnight, then did a second layer of yellow and the finishing coat to dry overnight again. And that's the second sewing tin done. It's so precious, it looks like an oversized jack-o'-lantern compared to the smaller tin and the pincushion. Let's put everything away, shall we? I absolutely love these sewing tins. They're functional as storage and fit perfectly within the spooky/fall seasons. Do you have your own sewing kit? And what do you think about my new little friend? Let me know in the comments. That's all from me for now, so leave a like if you liked it and subscribe if you loved it to join the hunt. I'll see y'all in the next video. Stay spooky. Bye bye.